Humanity reaches Venus. Argo enters atmosphere, screamed the headlines back on Earth. For us, the news was more immediate, the groaning metal and violent shudder of the Argo as we plunged through sulfuric acid clouds. Outside, nothing but thick, soupy yellow, no majestic views, just a planet-sized chemical spill. Mission Commander Ava Rostova called out altitude and pressure, her voice steady over the comms. The Argo shed its heat shield, then parachutes deployed, slamming us into our seats. Finally, the descent slowed. Altitude stable at 55 kilometers, Eva announced. The first part of the insane plan had worked. Now came the hard part, building a city in the sky. Out there was our construction site, a patch of empty air, held up by physics and optimism. We donned EVA suits, designed for Venus's corrosive high-pressure atmosphere. We were about to build our home on a literal cloud. We were building not just for ourselves, but for everyone who would follow. The future of humanity hung in the clouds.
The first piece of the colony was the core anchor, a massive, deflated balloon made of composite fabric. We guided it out of the Argo and began inflation, not with helium but with breathable air. In Venus's dense CO2 atmosphere, our air was a lifting gas. The lungs, we called it, swelled into a giant white sphere, our foundation. Once stable, we attached the hexagonal habitat module beneath the lungs. Then came the skirt, a ring-shaped balloon filled with hydrogen for extra lift and stability. The skirt kept us level in Venus's constant winds and gave us redundancy if the lungs failed. We sealed and pressurized the habitat. The platform floated placidly in the clouds. We cycled through the airlock and took the first breath of recycled air. Platform 1 was operational. Area Colony was born. We had built a house on a bubble, 55 kilometers above hell. Our survival depended on every seal, every sensor, every system. The first human home on Venus floated in the clouds. Adapting to life on Area was strange. Venus's day lasts 117 Earth days, but we lived by a strict 48-hour cycle, 24 hours of day shifts, 24 of night. The lights mimicked day and night, but our bodies clung to Earth time. Coffee was more precious than water. Every drop of water was reclaimed, every breath recycled. Food came from hydroponics, lettuce, tomatoes, potatoes, soy. The hum of pumps and glow of grow lights reminded us we were self-sufficient, a tiny terrarium in an alien sky. Daily life was maintenance, research, and more maintenance. Checking seals, monitoring pressure, calibrating sensors. Robotic drones buzzed outside, collecting samples and watching for danger. The habitat's hull was coated in acid-resistant polymers. Any work outside required full EVA suits. We learned to live with the platform's gentle rocking, like a ship at sea. At night, the wind whistled past the viewports, a reminder of the immense power outside. Our world was thin walls and recycled air, suspended above a deadly planet. But we endured, and we adapted. This was life in the clouds. For 500 days, we were alone. Then the Odyssey arrived, bringing 50 new colonists and components for more platforms. Our single hexagon became a network, linked habitats, a growing community, new faces, new voices, and suddenly, our outpost felt like a town. Construction accelerated. One platform became 4, each with a purpose: science, living, growing. The science platform launched the Great Search for Life, sending probes into the lower clouds, analyzing every sample with hope. The new arrivals brought culture, book clubs, film nights, and a memory garden with roses, grass, and a bonsai tree. These small comforts connected us to Earth, reminding us of blue skies and rain that wasn't acid. More people meant more strain. Hydroponics expanded, water reclaimers installed, oxygen scrubbers optimized, social dynamics shifted, cliques formed, disagreements happened. We wrote a colony charter, a first step toward real society. We were no longer just surviving, we were living. The colony was becoming a community, with all its challenges and joys. We had neighbors, friends, and a future. The dream was growing. Our city in the sky was taking shape. Every new arrival brought new possibilities. We were building more than platforms. We were building a society. The sky was no longer empty. Area was alive. The adventure had only begun. Venus was becoming home. At first, Area ran on solar power, vast sails soaking up sunlight above the clouds, storing energy for the long Venusian night. But it wasn't enough. We needed a breakthrough. Dr. Lena Petrova proposed a radical solution: a tethered wind turbine, lowered kilometers into the denser, faster winds below. The engineering was daunting. an acid-resistant cable, a turbine that could survive the storm. We built it, lowered it meter by meter, watching the strain and the power output. When the blades spun at full speed, the colony's lights burned brighter. We had tapped into Venus's endless energy. This changed everything. We could support more people, expand hydroponics, manufacture parts from atmospheric carbon. The wind turbine gave us confidence. We weren't just guests, but part of the environment. Energy independence meant growth, innovation, and security. We could dream bigger. The colony became self-sustaining, ready for the next leap. We were no longer at the mercy of the sun. We had harnessed the power of the planet itself. The future felt limitless. Our city in the clouds was here to stay. We were building not just for survival, but for permanence. Venus was no longer just a challenge. It was an opportunity. The dream was powered by the winds of another world, and we were just getting started. As the colony grew, it felt less like a science station and more like a home. Photos, paintings, and music filled the corridors. Venus's swirling clouds became our art. Community groups formed book clubs, Makers Club, and the Memory Garden, our park in the sky. We invented holidays, Platform Day, with feasts and stories. Fun found us drone racing, zero-gravity games, and new sports unique to our world. The colony developed its own rhythm, busy day shifts, quiet nights, and gatherings at the main viewport to watch the endless clouds. We were a city of sky dwellers, building a new culture from scratch. Our rituals bound us together. The platform was more than survival, it was belonging. We found joy in the strange and the new. Venus was becoming home, not just a place to work. We were no longer visitors, we were Venusians. The day Alara was born, everything changed. She was the first human born off Earth. Her birth proved this was more than an outpost. It was a home for families, for the future. The colony celebrated. We were Venusians now. Tourists arrived, drawn by the wonder of life in the clouds. Their visits funded our growth and connected us to the wider solar system. Our population crossed 1,000. We built schools, a medical center, and specialized districts, science, engineering, agriculture, homes. The first Venusian children grew up as cloud walkers, learning to fly drones before bikes, their world a network of corridors and endless sky. They were a new kind of human, adapted to life above the clouds. Watching them, we knew the future was in their hands. The colony was becoming a city. We were building for generations. Venus was no longer just a dream. It was a home. The true colonists were here. The next chapter had begun. As Area thrived, a question divided us. Should we remain in the clouds, or try to change Venus itself? The preservationists wanted to study and protect the planet, expanding sky cities but leaving the surface untouched. The terraformers dreamed of thinning the atmosphere, cooling the planet, and making the surface habitable. Their proposals were grand: solar shades, atmospheric processors, a second Earth. The debate shaped our politics, our science, our future. Should we invest in more platforms or in terraforming research? The question was philosophical: caretakers or creators? There were no easy answers. The great debate defined our society, a constant conversation in labs and mess halls, all while we floated in the clouds of the world we were arguing about. 10,000 days after the Argo's plunge, Area was a city, over 20,000 people, a metropolis in the sky. Platform 1 was now a museum, a monument to the first pioneers. Area Prime was a beacon of light and life, a hub of science, culture, and commerce. Our labs rewrote planetary science. Our artists and musicians created a new Venusian culture. The children born here were now young adults, ready to lead. We traded with Earth and Mars, exported energy and goods, imported people and technology. Our spaceport was busy, our society independent and thriving. The great debate continued, but we found a middle path, expanding in the clouds, cautiously experimenting with atmospheric modification. Looking out from Area Prime, watching shuttles and city lights against the yellow haze, you felt boundless possibility. We started with 12 people on a single platform. Now, we were a civilization. Our journey was far from over. We were still dreaming, still building. The clouds of Venus were our home. The future was wide open. We were reaching for a blue sky.